Let's go down to Jerome's before we get started. It's that time of year again. Margaret, a walkathon. It is on at her school. And what's the goal for this year?
$20,000.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Now, what's it for?
For field trips and events.
Because the last couple of years they've been for the playgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Jeromes have crushed it the last couple of years. Playground is apparently good to go now, so field trips and all that stuff. So all Venmos, all Snapchats, all PayPals, all Cash Apps, all the donations to the show up until, when is it, Walkathon?
Next Friday.
Up until next Friday. Up until next Friday goes to Margaret's donations for her school. So thank you guys very much for being so generous over the last couple of years. Let's do this thing up again. Say thank you.
Thank you very much.
What's going on, Jerome's? Beautiful Thursday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So for the Vikes, they have practice on Wednesday, full padded practice, and there's some questions. There's some questions moving forward this week before they get ready to suit up for the Sunday showdown at US Bank Stadium against the low-energy Detroit Lions. Lions fans are so damn sensitive. Like they get so upset. What do you mean low energy? We're very high energy. I will say this. It does seem like Lions fans, they've come out of the woodwork. They've suffered for a long time. Some are bandwagon fans, and they're very boisterous, we'll say, right? And I feel like that's fine. Like I said, give them a lot of leeway because of the many years of miserableness that they had to put up with. They can thump their chest a little bit, but it does seem like they're approaching Eagles fans' level of annoyingness, but it is what it is. I'm sure I'm not their cup of tea either. Anyways, but lots of questions. Aaron Jones, Blake Cashman, etc. With Jones, Ben Gessling, Star Tribune, go. Aaron Jones says he'll practice on Thursday. He DNP'd on Wednesday, and see how he's feeling before the Vikings make a determination on whether he'll play Sunday. He said he first felt the injury during pregame stretches in London and thought he'd be okay, but felt it again during the game. Played pretty damn good with it before they pulled him. He spent most of his bye week in Minnesota doing everything from acupuncture, deep tissue massage, hyperbaric chambers, and laser treatment. I wouldn't trade it, he said. This is my job, and this is where I asked to be, so you've got to get in there and get back. So, I mean, with Jones, whatever it takes. Like, if he needs rest, get him back to 100% because, it's a long season, and you want him 100% as you get in late into the year as well as into the playoffs. That is key here. Also, this is what's funny. So, last 2 weeks, and even during the Jets game, everyone was calling it, it's the hip. But Kevin C. for ESPN, who's not Carl Gerbschmidt, who's not, Vikings have been calling Aaron Jones' ailment a hip injury, but it is more accurately a hamstring issue, hence the official listing below, officially listed on the injury report as a hamstring. Upper part of the hamstring rises to the hip. Now, I'm not an anatomy major, but so the hamstring part that leads up to the hip, that's just the ass. Just say ass injury. It happens, man. But no matter what, like however long it takes, yeah, it would be great if he was able to practice on Thursday today and he feels good and the Vikings have him for the Lions game and no muss, no fuss because he is a huge part of what makes the Vikings running game work, right? But if it's a spot where he's not going to be 100% or it could open him up for injury, which could have him out even longer, nah. Same thing with short week on Thursday night against the Rams. I mean, if it takes 2 weeks and you give him the extra bye after Thursday night to get him ready week 9 for the Colts, so be it. And if it is a hamstring, like you saw how Kevin O'Connell and company were very cautious with Justin friggin' Jefferson last year, so Jones could be out for a while. Also someone who could be out is linebacker Blake Cashman outside. How about that? Alec Lewis, the Athletic. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell said linebacker Blake Cashman is dealing with a turf toe. Again, very painful. Painful, man. Kevin O'Connell said Cashman went through bye week, and Cashman will be day to day and week to week. Said don't think it'll be a long-term injury. Doesn't know about status for this week, and they're hoping to get him on the practice field at some point either today or tomorrow. But not really holding my breath, but it's fine. You got Pace Jr. You have Kamaguruje Hill can step in very nicely. He did earlier in the year for Pace, as well as O'Connell did hint of potentially using some versatile players, whether Metellus or creative use of the edge rushers to help supplement the loss of Cashman. But it is a big-time loss, especially with the Lions running game. Speaking of Lions, former Lion, TJ Hawkinson. So Kevin O'Connell very hedging his bets in terms of if Hawkinson's going to be back. He was a limited practice participant on Wednesday. Same thing with Dalton Reisner. Both of them are coming back from a reserve list. And nature is healing. Like I do think that there is an outside chance that Hawkinson returns. ESPN Fantasy projects him at 5.8 points in a full point PPR. That's low. That's low because, Hawkinson, when he comes back, he'll have some rust. But O'Connell has talked about where when guys come back, they're back. I mean, he's going to be back in his normal role. He's going to be doing everything that T.J. Hawkinson does, right? So whether it's this week, whether it's against the Rams, whether it's against the Colts, whatever. I mean, 8-7 is a top 3 tight end league, and he's not 3. Also, recently acquired running back Cam Akers, back in purple, back where he belongs. What's going to be funny is that Akers is going to sign with the Jaguars in the offseason, and then trade deadline 2025 is they just going to call up. He's like, hey, you are never going to believe this. But it just shows to how much he's loved and appreciated in this building. And, he made a business decision in the offseason. He went to the Texans. They probably paid him a little bit more. And he was proven right. I mean, with the injuries with Joe Mixon and Dameon Pierce, he was able to get on the field, able to do some good. He scored the Texans' only touchdown against the Vikings, which is phenomenal. Don't sleep on, hey, that guy played well against us scouting. And he's a very rock-solid, do-it-all veteran running back. And also, he's only 25. You think that he's way older because he's been in the public eye for so long. But, I mean, with the Texans running backs healing up, it makes a lot of sense to have him here. Alec Lewis put out a pic of him at practice wearing number 27. Now, he wore 31 last year, but, of course, 31 has been reserved. Kyrie, rest in power. All right, so either way, he looks good in the 2-7. I'm trying to think. What great running backs wore 27? Larry Johnson, that's certainly up there. Brandon Jacobs worth 27, right? Yeah, doesn't matter. But Cam Akers talked to the local media jackals, as we said, Purple Persuasion. Cam Akers is excited to be back in Minnesota. Quote, I know the scheme, I know the people and how they operate here. I know how they treat people. I know how they go about business. It's a winning organization, end quote. And a lot of people have criticized him. It's like, well, how come we didn't re-sign in the first place? Business is the business, right? Myriad of reasons. Opportunity, maybe some cash considerations were in there as well. Plus, state income tax, Texas versus Minnesota, like all those things add up, man, right? But either way, Cam Akers is back, and if Jones is shelved for a little while, like Ty Chandler, going to have an opportunity because the Vikings do want to run the ball, no matter who the hell is back there. Also, I have no transition. Anyways, U.S. Bank Stadium, got to be loud and proud. Biggest game of the year so far. The Lions coming on in, and it's just got to be earth-shattering. I want birds dying from the reverb off of the glass. Not them contacting the glass, but just the vibrations, right? Bill Belichick, who visited the Vikings once when the Patriots came in 2022, U.S. Bank Stadium. He had some kind words to say about the Vikings fan base. Vikes fan page. Belichick praises the Vikings fan environment leading into Sunday's pivotal game against the Lions. He said this, quote, that's another tough place to play in Minnesota. That's a great environment. Those fans are extremely loud and obviously supportive of the Vikings. Plus, given the bye week, Vikings fans get some pent-up energy and maybe there'll be a libation or two. Maybe the tailgates will be going early and often, and it'll be good to go. Easy, say hi. He's not named after Ezra Cleveland. Although that would be kind of funny. Yeah. So the U.S. Bank Stadium crowd has to be full throat and hopefully not half 49ers fans. That's all I'm saying. Also, I'm saying is that the New York Football Giants, it seemed like they had a spark for a little bit, but now I think everything's... and Andrew Thomas dealing with a Liz Frank injury, expected to be out for the season. It's a huge loss. Andrew Thomas is one of the best young left tackles in the game, but he has had some pretty significant injury issues. But long story longer, the Giants season is kaput. They're done. They're donezo. So I'm just trying to manifest Dexter Lawrence II. Sexy Dexy. Hey, you do. Please, football gods above and to the side, please let the Giants trade Dexter Lawrence to the Vikings for 2 first-round picks and Ed Ingram. Please, 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 please. Yay. Hopefully, we'll see. Also, we'll see. Another great defensive tackle is the real deal with Lee McNeil. Just signed up to a massive contract extension with the Lions, which kind of sucks because I was all in on the pride of NC State in free agency, but it is what it is. Colton Pouncey, fantastic beat writer over there for the Lions. Lions D-tackle Lee McNeil said when his contract talks were being finalized and his agents called him to tell him the news, he was watching REBA. And I'll fully admit this. REBA is a fantastic show. It just got on Netflix, so that's why people are streaming it. But I remember like back in the day, just streaming this show, and it was a good sitcom. Like I feel like people overthink things. Like everything has to be Game of Thrones. No, it doesn't. Like there's nothing wrong with a multi-camera staged 22-minute sitcom, right? And the stakes are low in every single episode. There's a couple of chief laughs. There's a laugh track. Does not matter. Like REBA is a great show. It's fantastic, man. Not gonna lie. Also, I also cannot lie in that I know that we're supposed to dislike the Detroit Lions this week. The low energy Lions get Lions fans all pissed off. All 7 of you. But like I said, so many celebrities coming out as lifelong Lions fans. We didn't hear from you 2 years ago. Anyways, but Nolan Bianchi, Lions running back coach Scotty Montgomery, says the official nickname for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery is Sonic and Knuckles. Like I said, I have to dislike the Lions, but that is a phenomenal nickname. That is such a phenomenal nickname. It's great. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, you got the speed. Montgomery, you got a power. Powered by Iowa State. Let's go. I can't wait until they combine for 40 yards from scrimmage and 0 touchdowns. So that's going to be really great. Just all the rings are gone. I shouldn't have said all the rings are gone because there's like a Vikings championship joke in there. I'm sure that there's a throw across there. Also, something I'm still annoyed by. So everyone and their mom this week has been creaming in their jeans over the NFC North. It's the best division in football. Blah, 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 blah. Fox Sports NFL. The NFC North is the first division since 1970 merger in which every team has 4+ wins through the first 6 weeks of the season. Who measures that? Like, why? They're just making up things. Like, hey, no, they're literally just making up stats. That does not matter. Hey, in a lunar eclipse on a Tuesday and blah. So stupid. So stupid, man. I am over all this kumbaya BS because I know people are saying, well, root for your division because then that means your division will look good. No. Every game these jabronis win makes it more difficult for the Vikings to win the division. Right? And I know. Keep the pressure on. Iron sharpens iron, blah, blah, blah. I do not care. I do not care at all. Hey, do you think that the Raiders and the Chargers and the Broncos are just like, well, you know that the Chiefs are winning the division and they're winning Super Bowls, but at least, gee golly, we play them twice a year and that makes us better. No. Absolutely freaking not. Also, they're making up stuff. NFC North combined 13-game win streak. Who does this? Whose idea was this? So stupid. So I am done with it. I hope that the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears, oh my, lose every single game that they play, except for when they play each other. They can split or they can tie. I do not care. All right, it's like the Patriots win all those Super Bowls. You think the Dolphins are like, hey, that's our division. AFC East represent. No, it's stupid. Lastly, something that's not stupid. You can't unsee this, and this was brought up a lot when Kevin O'Connell's first hired. Like, he does look like a young Bud Grant, and also demeanor-wise, like all the stories that the players had about Bud Grant is that he wasn't a hard ass, he wasn't emotional, he wasn't like overly positive, but he always got things out like a little bit stoic before stoic was the thing. I do think that Kevin O'Connell is a little bit more peppy and effervescent and drinking the purple Kool-Aid and stuff, but you're seeing the making of a great young football coach. And, Kevin O'Connell, he's not without his faults, but he learns from his mistakes generally. He has gotten better every single year, growing and showing in the job. He's dealt with adversity, and he's a great leader of men. He assembles a great staff. He's built a great culture here with Kwesi, with the Vikings in the great state of Minnesota. So, yeah, I hope that Kevin O'Connell has similar success to Bud Grant. Hopefully he brings a couple of championships as well. But in terms of consistently setting the standard and consistently having a team that you can be proud of, yeah, same vein. Love that. Also, I love that jacket. You want that jacket? Yeah, I got to get that jacket. Anyways, that is it. Vikings news dump on this beautiful Thursday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol. Production value. Say production value. No, guess not.